So this is another resume here, and of course the name and so forth is taken off. But you can see here, again, there's a lot of typos. I don't know, are spacing issues. So you need to go through and fix all those. So this is something, by the way, that, that you need to, like, your resume is a very important thing from the standpoint of the proofreading and how quickly you can get through ideas and how quickly you can, you can present things. I don't know if these typos we converted it for you. I don't think they are. We need to make sure that is. So this particular resume, I want to talk a little bit about it and some of the issues that I'm seeing with it right now. So typically, let's see here. When you're 4 years less or more out of law school, what you want to do is you want to put your education first. And then your admissions typically go beneath all of that information. You put that at the end or something. And you also want to try to be very clear with your language. But I'll talk about that in a second. But this particular resume right here, there's a bunch of things I'd like to talk about. So the first is this person is now working in White Plains working in-house doing real estate related things. And they've been doing that for the past year. Prior to that, it looks like they were a law clerk. That's fine. But when they graduated in 2018, May of 2018, so that would be November 2018. So they were a law clerk after graduating. Okay. And then they've been doing this since June 2010. Okay, so some of the problems with this resume, this is actually a very interesting resume because this person is making a lot of very typical type of mistakes that people make. And so I'd like really to hone in on that. There's a couple problems. The first thing is there are some kind of employment gaps here, which make me a little bit nervous. So there's an employment gap from the time this person got out of law school till they got this job as a law clerk, and then they were only there for a month, and then they were gone for 6 months, and then they took this job here. And so I don't like that, and I would like some sort of explanation for that. And then you can see here, like they were a legal intern during law school. The description of what the person did as a legal intern is much longer than the description of even what they're doing now. And the same thing is happening with this other in-house internship. And then it's also called corporate and commercial experience. So really what this person, needs to do, and this resume, by the way, needs a lot of work. You would have experience here. I don't even know that it's only 1 month. So I don't know if this is necessary to have that position if it was only for a month, certainly. And then this particular one was for 3 months. It was during school. I don't know how relevant that position is. It's why only 3 months would be the question. So there's a lot of short jobs on here. And then this one was a person was in-house law school. So that would be another question as well. Is this legal internship, is that really necessary? So I might even put these internships down and try to make that something that you don't draw as much attention to that, and you just put down that this is your current position right now. And then of course fixing all of these spacing and other issues would be a good idea as well. I'm just going to go through this, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But these internships, you have too much stuff here. Now, the thing I don't like about this resume, and if you want to work in a law firm, don't want to work in a law firm, or you don't want to work for a company, then this is actually a very good resume. But the problem with it is that you're saying everything but working in a law firm on here. So you're saying corporate experience, you're saying public interest experience, you're saying all these different things, whereas really what's going on here, and this is a summer internship, so that's okay. You shouldn't be separating them, because you're really saying, I prefer to do all of these other things that are related to government and public interest. And that's a problem. And a lot of times people, if you want to work in a law firm, they may not like that, because it seems like this is where your interests lie. And so this is a good resume if you want to do public interest, and then you de-emphasize this. But all this stuff, really, you have litigation, you have loans, it's just the resume is all over the place. So it needs to be more focused. Also, you're working in New York, but you've only taken the New Jersey bar. So people are going to wonder about being fluent in all of these foreign languages may actually detract from, and there's nothing wrong with being fluent in these languages if you think that's going to help you get a job, but it may actually detract from the message that whatever you want to do. If you want to be a public interest attorney and work for an Islamic company or these different groups and so forth, that's fine. Here, I don't know what this is, but this group, youth group founder, but this seems to like be where your interests lay. So your interests are really in things related to whatever volunteering and helping people and doing that sort of thing and being part of these religious and other type groups, which is fine, but it doesn't read like a law resume. So it doesn't read like somebody that wants to work in a law firm. It reads like somebody that wants to do something else. And then the question, people are going to wonder if you took the New York bar and what happened with that. And then you have, oh, this stuff here, this concentration stuff doesn't matter. None of this really matters. These are not honors activities and things that you did. None of this stuff, maybe the secretary of the Muslim Students Association is an honor. I don't know how big that group is, but anything that points out things to do with religious affiliation and so forth is often problematical in some resume. If someone's the secretary of the Christian Students Association or the Protestant Association or the Catholic Students Association, I don't know that they would put that on their resume. Certainly there's a demand for diversity in law firms and so forth, but really what the law firms want is they want to see, in most organizations, is they want to see some sort of focus. So this resume is very common that a lot of people do, and this sort of resume will hurt you because what you're doing here is you're showing that if you want to work in a law firm, everything about this resume is showing that you have an interest in doing things really that aren't related to the type of work that law firms do, that your interests are things that are different and that you have, there's nothing wrong with any of this. Here you're doing intellectual and sports law, but then your only experience has been in all these other things. And then emphasizing these other languages is good if you believe that's going to help you. But I do think that a lot of times, and then this is all related to loans and so forth, but then these are completely different types of jobs. So I'm left very confused because there's just a lot of things going on here. If you want to clean this up, and then the next time we do a resume review, love to look at it. I do think this resume does need some work, and it's just the issue is here, it's just not focused enough.